This is the Yarn Hellions podcast. We are in season 2, episode 22. I'm Christine Parker of Christine Parker Co. And this is Sarah Flynn of Superfine Yarn Co. And this is our new co-host. This is Ripley. She doesn't like me. That's okay. She's getting better. We're going to be friends. It's okay. I don't like meeting new people either. It's fine.
You enjoy the introvert?
Yes, we're all introverts here. Today we are talking about holiday gift knitting because, well, technically today is Halloween. We're recording on Halloween, but I feel like November 1st, it's like immediately the holiday season starts. So we're starting to think about presents and getting in the gift giving spirit. Mm-hmm. So we have some fun projects to share with you. So what's new with you, Sarah? It's been a while since we recorded. What's up?
It has been. It's been a month. I got hearing aids, which is insane. I'll show you because they are, even with short hair, like, can you see them? With like short, like, they're like.
No, I mean, like that
barely.
You've said, like, yes, it's right here. Like, yeah, now I can see it. But
there's like a little clear like wire. Yeah. So it's crazy. It goes behind my ear.
Oh.
And then this little teeny piece goes in my ear. And yeah, they've really been helping a lot. Good. I still like am adjusting to I go in and they like adjust different levels and stuff. So I had them turn them up and now I'm like, maybe it's a little too loud.
Really?
So I just like, yeah, it's just kind of hard to get used to. But like the first few days I got home from work and I'm like, oh, I felt like overload kind of. Like I think I'm just hearing so much more. Yeah. So then I took them out and it's a little ticklish to have like the thing in your ear, but this has been 2 weeks and I'm already kind of used to it. And then after the first few days, I just would wear them till like bedtime and be okay.
Nice.
So yeah, they're super comfortable. And I thought, oh, short hair, like a few years ago, they were like this big behind your ear and they were like really like a lot. Yeah. So I was like worried about that. And then when I saw these, I'm like, oh, I can do this.
No,
so,
can't tell it all.
Yeah. I'm really, I got a few nice messages from people who were like, oh, I have them that I didn't even know had them. So they were giving me like advice about brands and the really nice thing is they're Bluetooth. Ooh. So I can just do like audiobooks, whatever. So I'm trying to just be like, look at the good side of it, but I definitely something that I didn't realize for a long time, like how bad it was, and so now it's better. It's hard to like tell how much better I am, but she said it's not. It won't be 100%. You'll still miss stuff that people say, but it's gonna be a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's an adjustment.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. So, and your medical.
Oh my God.
stuff. What is the date?
November 4th. So today is Sunday. We're recording on Halloween, but by the time you see this, I will have had my thigh surgery. I'm getting my tumor ripped out. I feel like I'm not as nervous as I probably should be because it's like a major surgery. Like I had to get, I have to have like my advanced directive on file and I have to, I had to have blood work done before the surgery. And like, I had to meet with an anesthesiologist to like discuss the, general anesthesia and whatever. And like, I think it's going to be a pretty major surgery, but I'm like, not really worried about it at all. Yeah. Oh. I'm just ready to get this freaking thing out of my body. So yeah, when you guys see this, check in with me on Instagram. I'll let you know how I'm doing. I'll have had by the time the viewers see this, I'll have had surgery the day before. So Devin took 2 days off to stay with me.
And are you staying the first night? Or
no, I asked it's going to be outpatient. I asked to go home. They said if I wanted to, I could stay, but they're like, I was like, I'd rather be in my own house with my own, my own bed and Phyllis.
It's going to be such a good snuggler.
I'm really worried about my one cat, my most favorite cat, Sophie. She likes to like sleep on my body. So like if I'm horizontal, she'll like lay on me. And it's really very warm and comforting and nice. Ripley has some opinions.
People out in the hall.
Yeah. But she'll like also, she's not delicate. She's fat and she's,
Stompy.
Her feet are, she's like, she'll jump on me and it hurts even without a big surgical scar. So we'll see. I don't know. I have to lock them out of my room, the cats. So yeah, I'm relieved that the surgery is coming. What else do we have that's new?
We were going to talk about the Hildebrandt open house just in case we don't. We're going to see how you feel about taping in the middle of the month. But if we don't, follow our Instagram because the studio here that I have my dye studio in has a lot of artists, and we're going to have an open house the day after Black Friday. So that's Saturday, November 27th. It's going to be 10 to 5. We're going to tape before that. And so at 10, we're both going to be here selling stuff and hanging out and knitting. So come walk through. There are so many. There's going to be like ceramic artists, there's woodworkers. There is a beekeeper. You can buy her awesome honey. There's an artist collective, which is on my floor. You will not believe that there's Campbell's Popcorn. There is Rising Star, Storehouse Tea. So it's such a nice, you can come support like local small businesses, get some nice like, gifts, get ahead of it, and come visit us. Come we were thinking about doing like maybe a little special colorway / stitch marker thing. So we'll probably, I do batches of 6. So I was thinking maybe do 6, and like if they're gone, they're gone.
Heck yeah, that'd be really fun.
Yeah, get that Glowforge cranking. So yeah, the 27th, 10 to 5, come visit.
At the Hildebrandt building.
Yeah. It's in Ohio City. It's just south of the West Side Market. And yeah.
It's pretty easy to get here.
Yeah, you just get right off the highway. It's just a few turns once you get off,
Oh, we started talking about a Yarn Hellions like box.
We did. So that was the other thing. I was watching Mace of Skeins, Macy, and she does like little like she'll like pour like candles, like she'll have all these little extra things and do like a yarn box with like little. They're so adorable. That's and they're so like fun. Themed. And so I messaged Christy. I was like, I think we should do a Yarn Hellions box.
Okay.
So we are planning on that. We don't know what the theme is, but what would you like to see in it? Definitely like our products, but we might toss in some other stuff. And so yeah, we're just in the planning stages, but we'd like any input you've had if you'd like to,
Yeah, tell us if you've gotten yarn boxes in the past that you loved, what was in them, what you'd like to see from us.
It'd be nice to do them like 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, like one possibly. A quarter maybe.
Yeah.
End of the year, we have updates a little bit. You have your Advent boxes.
Yeah, Advent boxes the pre-orders are closed. I'm half done dyeing. Actually, I have a few in right now. I'm going to start twisting today. The boxes are coming this week sometime. So everything's kind of coming together. And I'll have 1 or 2 extra that I'll put up, or they'll be at the Hildebrandt open house. So if you missed it, try and snag one of those. So that is going to be my focus till mid-November. And then I'll have some new colors and things.
It sounds like those boxes are a lot.
It's crazy. It is. It's just multiply. 24 little mini, the work that goes into a skein. So yeah, prepping, like zip tying, soaking, dyeing, rinsing, twisting, times 24 times the amount of boxes. Yeah. It's a lot.
That's a lot.
I'm really excited about this year though. So with the new boxes, and we have some little goodies going in. So yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm excited for those boxes for you so that you don't have to wrap like each individual.
I'm not wrapping each individual one. That's awesome. Year. Yeah. So it was worth I really started in April with like the printing, like, can we get these boxes together? So it'll be worth it when I'm not like hunched over wrapping paper.
I am taking the month of December off for a mental health vacation, and also to force myself to finish my Shopify website. So if there are any gifts for me, like your pins, your stickers, gauge rulers, stitch markers, t-shirts, mugs, whatever, any of that stuff, I highly encourage you to shop early and often, because I am not doing December. My shop will be totally closed. And then I will have a whole bunch of new goodies and stuff for the new year, new merch, new website. And then, what was the other thing? Also, I have wholesale now. I'm doing wholesale. So you can find my products at Around the Table Yarns in Shaker Heights. They've actually been carrying my stuff for a while. But they have pins and, did they get stitch markers? I can't remember. They have the gauge rulers. And then I have a new wholesaler shop. I think it's pronounced Lovely Yarns in Baltimore, Maryland. So yeah, Melissa contacted me and they have stickers, stitch markers, gauge rulers. I think that was it. So yeah, you can, if you're in Baltimore, go check them out. Melissa is lovely. The shop is lovely. You would love it.
And if you would like your local yarn shop to carry Christine's products,
Yes.
please tell them about her.
Yes.
So that's really the best way to get. I mean, shops just don't come knocking down your door normally. So
No,
it's
they don't.
like word of mouth. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I know of this maker and they'd be really good in your shop. That's the best way to get.
Yeah. If you know a cool yarn shop that you think would want to carry my very rude, not safe for work merch, let them know or tell me and I'll get in touch.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. Word of mouth is really important. And that's one of the best ways I think you can support a small business without actually spending money is like, tell your friends, tell, I'm having trouble with words today, man.
It's okay.
But yeah, so we appreciate that when you guys tell your friends about this cool podcast that you're watching and our merch and our yarn and all that stuff. So we thank you for that.
So Don Boozer and I at work, he is the manager of the literature department. They were both big readers and they asked us to do this Facebook show, which we've been doing for a little while, called Book Drops. And sometimes I post when we have them. It's if you go to the Cleveland Public Library main library Facebook page, there's a lot of different branches, but we work at the main one downtown. It's every other Wednesday and we pick a topic and we've been having so much fun with it. The library asked us to do a virtual author interview coming up November 20th.
That's
and
so cool.
It's Nettie Okorafor, who we've talked about on this show. I actually
love
goosebumps.
Binti.
So excited to talk about Binti. I'm on the second book. I've read, so of course I just read, she has a short autobiography. I did that. She does Shuri, in Black Panther, his sister is real tech savvy. She's really cool. She does comic books or graphic novels about Shuri.
No kidding.
So I have
awesome.
those. So she's done short stories. So I just got everything she has. I'm going to read it before that.
Cool.
So we'll put the link. There's an Eventbrite. It's a free event, but you can come. We're going to be at the Great Lakes Science Center as part of our Maker Fair. So we're going to be having a live audience and a virtual audience. So, which will be cool. So you can submit questions either way. So there's just an Eventbrite link that we'll put in the show notes for it. And I would love it if you stop in and check in.
I'm going to sign up. That's cool.
I'm so equal parts nervous and excited. So I read a lot of genre fiction and I'd want the library to bring in more genre writers. So a lot of times there's a lot of nonfiction people and a lot. So I really would like this to go well so we can get more. I'd like to get some romance authors, some fantasy authors. So this could be the start of getting some new authors in there. And then
is Nettie Okorafor going to be in person or she's
virtual?
Virtual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be talking to her virtually and then you can submit questions if you're in the audience. It'll be part of the Maker Fair, which we're having at the Science Center November 20th. So, and it's at 7 p.m. because I think she's West Coast. So, so it'll be a decent time for her. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I have so much to talk about. I did my 5K yesterday.
I saw.
Talked about.
Oh, you're wearing your shirt.
I'm wearing my shirt and I have a medal, which is so so nerdy and so much fun.
That's amazing.
It was like, because I like, it's so great. I'm just like so proud. I've never thought, and I never was a runner, and I've really come to kind of enjoy it. And I did, if anyone's interested in trying it, I did the Nike app. They have it's like a 5K program where you start with 5 minutes, and like that was doable for me. And I run and walk. I didn't run the whole thing. So I'll run and then I'll walk, like I'll try and like pick like a tree. Like I'm going to walk to that tree, catch my breath. Then I'm going to take off again. Usually it's like 10. I try not to go above like 10 or 20 steps. So I did that like 10, 15 times during this. But I finished it, and
that's awesome.
So yeah, I was really happy. So it's like the Nike app. It's a 8-week program. So I just finished that this week. So I ran 2 practice 5Ks last week before like getting ready. And my times were like 41 and 40 minutes. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go for like, just get under 40. If I could get like 39 minutes, excuse me. If I can get like, under that, people said like when you start racing, like when there's other people running near you, you go faster. So I'm running, getting tired, like getting kind of close to the end. And they had big clocks up. I didn't see anything. I couldn't hear anything. Get done. Look, my time was just over 35 minutes.
Wow.
So I got like so much time off.
That's awesome.
So, but it was funny. There's like little kids running. There's like people with strollers. This lady with a stroller. I'm like, well, in a little bit, I'm going to like go up and pass her. Never passed her. Like after a few minutes, couldn't even see her. I'm like, so it's great. It's all levels. Definitely. I got like with a little pack of like women who were running and walking. So we were like kind of at the same pace, and we were together like the whole time, which was really nice. You didn't feel like, and of course some people finished in like, no time. But so it was really nice. You got to the end, and then they had water and bananas for you. You got your medal, and people were taking pictures. And then you like cheered people in as they came. So it was like a nice environment. And
that's fun.
Yeah, I had fun. So I'm going to try and keep it up, like running in the morning till it gets too cold to not do. But I enjoyed that. And I have one other thing. I just became obsessed with the Emily Dickinson TV show on Apple Plus.
What?
Oh,
I have not heard of this.
Gosh. After I did this yesterday, I was just like on the couch. Started watching it. It's on Apple Plus. It's Haley Steinfeld, who she was in the True Grit remake, which was years ago, but she's a fantastic actress. It is set in like the 1840s, 50s, but with modern language and modern music, which is so interesting. And in my opinion, they really pull it off, which it could really come off not right. So entertaining, such a good cast. I knew absolutely nothing about Emily Dickinson. Like, nothing. I should know about her, and I didn't. And I learned a lot, and finished season 2 yesterday, and was so bummed. And I looked, and season 3 starts November 5th. So perfect. Keep going. So give it a try.
I'll have to watch that when I'm recovering.
Yeah, you should. I just was like blown away how good it is.
I was thinking about like if I'm just sitting. I don't know how long it's going to take me to, like, what my recovery is going to be like. If I don't know when I'll be able to drive again. So I'm like, God, what am I going to do when I'm sitting at home? So I have a baby blanket that I'm working on for my nephew, who's coming in January. Oh my gosh. But then I was like, maybe I'll rewatch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's been a minute.
Anytime.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring the actual sheep sack, but I have stuff that's in the sheep sack.
The sheep sack.
Which is my Ann Arbor Fiber Expo mini haul, because I was trying to be good.
A little restrained.
So it was nice. Some of my dyer friends were there. Supernova Dye Works, and I went in her booth. I'm looking around. I picked out something. She's like, "Do you just want to trade? And I'll come over and get this game from you." I was like, "Yeah." So that was awesome. So this is her, and we'll put her. I know, and it's self striping. Oculus sock colorway zombie corn. Very cool. So you can see it's like green, pink, and like light brown. So
zombie corn, like a unicorn, but a dead one.
I just love it. So
that's awesome.
With the 400 socks in.
Mm-hmm.
Got DK weight. This is AJHC wools, and if you've ever been to a show with them, their booth is insane. It's almost like a color palette, like along the back as you go. It's really, really stunning. And I haven't bought them before, but I did this time. So this is a superwash DK, 100% merino. It's a succulent collection, which I thought was interesting. So I'm assuming this is a name of a succulent, which I don't know any, but Pearl von Nürnberg, which I'm assuming if anyone knows, but I'm assuming it's the name of a succulent. But these are like Sarah colors right here. So like light green, like a rosy pink, a little peach. So
pretty.
Yeah, happy with that.
Socks?
I'm thinking so. I have my DK socks going, which I didn't make much progress on. But yeah, I'm thinking socks. Or I actually want to do a hat with the...
I love this hat. Yeah.
So my super splurge was a silk blend. Splash of Color. The first time I did Ann Arbor, I was across from Splash of Color Yarns, and she was so sweet to me, and I was so nervous. And that would have been spring of 2019. So I went in and I'm like squishing stuff, and I touched this. It's silk blend. So lovely. It's 80% merino, 20% silk, and it's 600 yards.
I was going to say, that looks like a big skein.
It is. So this is colorway boysenberry. And super cool, like magenta, purples. And then of course I took them off my iPad, but I was taking pictures. If anyone has lace, like one skein lace patterns, I was looking at those. And then I had taken a beading class a while ago, and I have a bunch of beads in this bin over here. So if I get really, really ambitious, I'm going to add some beads to it.
Ooh, I love beads.
I know.
I have a, when we talk about our gift knitting patterns, I have a beaded pattern to show you guys.
So there's that. Next to her was Mitten Designs Yarn Snuggler.
Oh my god.
Look at this little cutie.
It's got doggies. On.
So had to get that.
Miller Designs. That's so cute.
Mitten. Oh, I think because it's Michigan.
Mitten.
It's blue and it's shaped like a mitten.
Got it.
Yeah.
Mitten. Doggies. Little doggies. That's really cute fabric.
And then I found something that was looked like Christine Parker had to have it. So
what?
This is it.
Oh my god, I like pretty things and the word fuck. That's awesome. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that needs to come home. So this was knit two together. But she's Paper Diva on Instagram. Oh, check it out. Make sure. But she had these in like a bin, and I was flipping through. I was like, oh, okay. This is coming with me. So I had a good time.
Do you approve?
Yeah.
Did it pass your quality inspection? That's awesome.
So yeah. Sheep sack achieved.
What do you have any shows coming up for the rest of the year? Or
no, I don't. I'm looking at a trunk show in January, but it's still not set yet. And then Virtual is going to do a January show, so they just announced that. It'll be it's like the 7th of January. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'd like to do some. They really don't start up again until like April. And then I applied to some new ones. I applied to Wisconsin, Michigan, and Maryland, which would all be new to me. Okay. But notoriously tougher to get into than the ones I've been going to. So I may be on a wait list for a year, but I figured I'd give them a try.
Yeah, sure.
And then also, if you have a yarn shop in the Midwest that you think would like a trunk show, I'd be willing to drive to one. I keep trying to get a shop in Pittsburgh, and for some reason just doesn't happen. So I used to kind of send out postcards and stuff. But, I don't like sometimes if you don't know people personally, it just doesn't, But yeah, I want one in Detroit too. And
yeah, those are both like fairly
drivable
close, right?
Cities. So yeah. In Kentucky, possibly I was looking at like Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
But so
cool. It's weird to me that like show season is during the like warmer months and not the cold time. Well, like when everybody's thinking about knitting.
I know.
That's odd.
It is.
Should we talk about our gift
Mm-hmm.
knitting ideas?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like when I'm thinking about making a gift for somebody, especially if I'm going to make a bunch of things, like for, a bunch of different people for the holidays, I like projects that are like have big yarn and big needles and they go fast and it's just like a simple pattern that I can just crank out. And it needs to be, I like when I can use inexpensive yarn because not everybody can handle like, hand wash, lay flat to dry.
Yeah,
some people just don't,
unless you know
right?
Them, that they can do it.
Some people just don't want to do that. And so like machine washable is important to me. It's got to be easy to wear because not everybody knows how to style a shawl either. Some people are like uncomfortable, with styling a shawl or whatever. So all of the patterns that I picked out, they're all free patterns. They all incidentally are cowls. I like cowls because I don't know. I think they're quick. And I feel like they're good. Like if someone's not a hat wearer, they're like, go for a cowl. They're perfect. The first one that I picked out was this. So it doesn't like even check all my boxes because I was like, oh, it has to use big yarn and big needles. Well, this one is with fingering weight yarn. But it's called the Jeweled Cowl. It's a free pattern. It's a 1 skein pattern and it does use big needles. It's fingering weight on size 8 needles, but there's beads. But it's really easy. It's just stockinette in the round with some yarn overs and like knit 2 togethers. I made this for a couple of people a couple years ago and they really liked it, or they acted like they did anyway. So it's just like it's a long cowl with like a lace panel and beading on the lace. And then you can double it, like twist it twice and, make it like fit closer. Man, the beading's really fun. And this is a great pattern if you've never done beading because it's just like 20 stitches to bead and then the rest of it's just plain stockinette. It looks like it's a lot of work, but it's not. It's really very easy. Here's one I made for a friend. I think this is Madeline Tosh, like Tosh Merino Light and some beads. Man, it's making me want to I need to make one for myself. This is another one I made. See, it's got that like diagonal lace
so cool
panel. I hope that you guys can see this.
Hold it up closer.
We'll put show notes, obviously, and you can see the projects on the Ravelry page. But yeah, free pattern. Surprisingly easy. Here's the lace again. Yeah. I'm going to gift one of these to myself. What patterns do you have?
I have one that I heard about on a few podcasts, which is there's debate about how to pronounce it. I'm trying to find the picture, which is Musselburgh, which people say it's spelled like Edinburgh. So, but then people are saying Musselburgh too. I think it is Musselburgh.
You're probably right, but in my head, it's Musselburgh.
I know, because, but it's cool. It's like, I don't know if you've seen people, I think someone on Discord was knitting it. It's like a long, like tube, and then you push it inside. It's so cool.
I've made one of those.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's exactly. You like start in the center of the top of the hat and you like increase to make the crown of one side, and then you knit this like huge long tube, and then you decrease to get make more crown decrease. The crown decreases, and then you shove one end into the other end, and then you've got a double thick hat.
It's really,
yeah.
People were holding them up and it's like this long, but it looks like we get a good Cleveland hat because it's double.
It's it's warm
and mindless.
It's mindless. Once you get going. Yeah, it takes one skein of yarn. I've made one. I have one of my patrons in my Discord server, Megan, who lives in Ireland, has made. She's like obsessed with them. She makes them all the time.
Well, so it seemed like too. Yeah, people were making multiple ones, so I want to try that. For little kitties.
Oh my god!
I know. Bear ears beanie hat. I mean, look
little
at those
kids.
cuties.
I would wear that.
Oh yeah, good point.
That's really cute.
Adorable. And that's by Fox and Pine. Let me look. Fox and Pine Stitches. On Ravelry, it's under Tara Marie.
Is that worsted weight?
I should have looked at it. I took a screenshot, but I didn't.
Excuse me.
So we'll put the link.
Yeah.
Should have written down that.
The Spiral Cowl by Kay McKiernan. It's free pattern, DK weight. And then this is another one. It's a cowl. So it's just simple stockinette in the round with like easy yarn over details. And I made these for a bunch of people. So here's one. And it's got the really cute picot, like the picot edge that's on my hat. See that little picot lace looking edge? And then the spirals, you can see it better in this one. They just make like diagonal stripes around the cowl. So that, again, mindless with a nice detail. And it's easy to wear because it's just simple stockinette. Here's one that I made with like some, I think I got this. It was like a free skein of yarn that I got from like a charity knitting thing and with the North Coast Knitting Guild. And I made that as a gift. Looking at these makes me want to like make stuff, like make these patterns again. But for me, I'm not doing any gift knitting this year except for the baby blanket that I'm working on. Do you like to make holiday gifts?
I don't very much, just because
no pressure.
People aren't going to use it.
Yeah.
And my aunt's such a big knitter. She knits like what she wants for herself.
Right.
So yeah, I've done like a few hats and things, but nothing too like out there.
Yeah. I do like to make blankets for people, like,
because that definitely.
Yeah. I've made people cry with the blankets that I made for them. Like, yes, I won Christmas.
My third one is The World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knits. And
I love Tin Can Knits.
I mean, so cute. You can use whatever. So we'll put that link.
Are those did you write them down? Is it worsted? No. Okay.
I think it is worsted, but yeah. Not complete.
What did I have? Oh, my last one is the Valley Green Inn Cowl by Jocelyn Tunney. And I will show you the pictures. And then I actually have this one to like a finished object to show you because I made it for me. So here's the cowl. It's a free pattern. It's worsted weight, or maybe it's DK. I'm not sure. I made mine with worsted. But it's like you pick 5 different colors and then you knit. It's like the weirdest construction. It blew my mind when I made it because it's all garter stitch, but there's like no purling.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes this like squishy, round, like diagonal stripes of garter stitch. So here's mine. Oh, I lost my hand warmer. Get the baby. What a good girl. So I did mine. This one I made with Vanna's Choice, which is just like a cheap acrylic yarn that you can get at like Joann's or Michael's. And it does this like crazy chevron thing. I need to make another one because I don't remember how the like construction works, but it's like I said, there's no purling somehow, but it's in the round. I don't know. It was crazy. And I like that you can just use like little scraps because it only takes, I think the dark red stripe is the one, like the biggest one, but the like little corners, that's just a little tiny bit of yarn. Do you want to wear it? No, we won't. We won't do that to you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cozy. It's the right size.
It's warm, squishy. I should make one in like really gorgeous, like hand-dyed yarn for myself.
Yes.
Like an alpaca blend, perhaps.
You'll have some time in December
I
and some
will.
recovery time.
Well, I had to put everything on hold for these baby blankets because I can't remember if I told you or if I told them. Both of my brother's wives, I have 2 younger brothers, and both of their wives are both pregnant with their first babies. So I'm getting my first nephew will be born in January. They found out the sex. They're having a boy, and then my other brother's baby will be born in April. They are not finding out the sex, so that will be a surprise, and I'm very excited for that. But I'm like, oh my God, baby showers are coming. Like I have to make emergency baby blankets. Actually, since we started talking about that, I can just show you.
Yeah, I'm done with
We
mine.
can go into the projects we're working on.
Yes,
So
please.
I'm making this. So my one sister-in-law. So my brother David and his wife Carly, they live in Columbus, and they have the most beautiful house. It's like all decorated in shades of white and cream and beige and tan. It's very neutral, very clean. Carly, like her hobby is cleaning. She's like, I don't do any crafts or whatever, but I'm like, I can wipe off a counter like nobody's business. So like their house is so beautiful. They're the type of people who have like their dining room table is all styled with like, beautiful plates and dishes and folded napkins and like a seasonal centerpiece and stuff. So they're doing their baby nursery. It's going to be like just neutrals, white and beige. And they have like these really cute pictures of bunnies. It's like bunny themed for my nephew. So she's like, can you make me a neutral blanket? And I'm like, okay, that's so boring, but whatever. She doesn't watch this podcast. It's fine. But actually I'm having fun making this blanket. So I'm crocheting. Is it upside down? Oh, it doesn't matter. So I'm making just like a bobble stitch blanket. I got this yarn. This is Bernat Softee Baby Cotton.
Nice.
I got it at Joann's. I was like not sure about the yarn, but I actually really like it. It's like a cotton and acrylic blend. So it's machine washable, machine dryable. I made a swatch and I sent it through the washer and dryer to see if it would like get pilly, and it doesn't. And I read a bunch of reviews and whatever. So this is the one I'm making. I sort of reverse engineered. Hi. I reverse engineered a pattern that I found on Pinterest. And then I ended up buying the pattern because I was like, don't steal their design. But I'm not actually using the pattern. I just decided based on my swatch how many stitches I wanted to start with, and the little stripes, the bobble. Do you like it?
It smells good. The bobbles are awesome.
They're really fun to make.
And if it was like a crazy color, the bobbles wouldn't show up.
Right? So. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see them. I think it's going to be really pretty when I'm done, and it'll be beautiful in his beige nursery, in their beige house. And then for the other baby, my other brother Scott and his wife Lauren are more color friendly, so I will make them something like a little wilder. So this, I'm trying to finish this. My brother and his wife are going to come up in December, so I'm trying to have this done by December so we can give it to her at the little impromptu baby shower. So there's that. Are you working on anything fun you want to share?
Oh my gosh. I had to finish up while we were introing. I had to finish up a row, so I was at a good spot to show it. But I am doing the Stephen West Knit Along Shawla Roofie. So it's hard to see the colors in that top part because you can see them on the back. But once it's blocked, you'll be able to see them better. But if
super fun.
I went kind of nuts with my colors, and I'm not really regretting it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the point. with Steven West.
There's so many like real neutral, like beige, brown, gray, and then like some people would have like a teal or like so I'm like I my brain like I don't know. So and I knew it was going to be enormous, and I wanted like something fun. So I actually added alpaca, my like one like lighter kind of like pastel-y color. I added the same kind of color of alpaca silk with it, so it's a little fluffy. But the coolest part is these freaking I-cord loops.
Those are nuts.
It's insane. So there's better pictures like online than you can see, but they're like connecting. It's crazy. So I think everything from now on is like kind of normal, but oh my gosh, these were weird.
Were they fun to knit?
They were. Okay. The whole time I was knitting, I was trying to get to that part because I had seen pictures of them. I was like, I want to get to the little loops. And they really weren't bad. It's like a little I-cord.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with it. And the only thing is like the clues come out so fast. Like I'm not, I don't have that much time during the week to knit. So I'm still on clue 2. I'm like barely into clue 2, which is this part. So I think 4 just came out. But I'm having so much fun with it. And it's such like a nice little like community. You can see what other people are doing. And I can't wait to finish it. But it has taken over. So I have lots of little projects sitting by. But I did make progress on 2 Christine Parker patterns, which is my retro whirl hat. So I've got some progress on that.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I love that colorway.
Yeah.
Are you just doing one color, or are you
I'm just doing one.
Okay.
Because that's what I did for the cowl. So now I'll have this set. So I did that, and then my Bormanosa I made some progress on too.
I forgot that I renamed it, and I'm like,
what's that?
About? Yeah.
Let's see. Hopefully I'm not in the middle of a row. Okay. This will be good. So
nice.
Yeah.
I love that colorway.
So it's like it. Yes, this is Aster. I think I still have a few of these, but look at those holes.
Like the Formanosa shawl is one of those ones where like it like looks like crap until you block it, and then like
I know I'm trying to like stretch out to show like how pretty it is, but I think the holes will like
everything will open up.
But it's super fun, and like 8 row repeat, and you only have to pay attention to like 2. So it's great.
We're friends now.
I have noticed.
So Ripley, when I got here, we'd never met before, and she was really mean to me. She growled at me a lot, but no, we're cool now.
Had some salmon treats, and it's okay now. I did say the word, didn't I? She's like, hello? What?
What else am I working on? I have made pretty good progress on my beauty school top.
Let's see it.
It looks like a sweater now, but
the colorway.
Yeah, Ken Yarn. Also, if you don't follow Ken Yarn on Instagram, you should, because he's lovely. He's obsessed with Phyllis, and it cracks me up. So it's starting to look like a sweater.
I love it. I mean, that colorway is the cutest thing ever.
It's really cute. This is like, I'm at the part where I'm in the body, and it's just, like mindless stockinette all the way through. I originally was planning on making this a cropped sweater with long sleeves, but I changed my mind because I don't think that I would wear a cropped sweater. Like, I like the idea of it, but in practice, I just don't think that I would wear it. So I'm making it now. I'm going to do the regular length body with elbow length sleeves.
Cute.
Yeah.
And then do you have like a waist yarn on here, or do you just go back and pick them up? This
is, no waist yarn. So I will just go and pick up the, for the sleeves and
And what kind of neck?
There are 2 options. One is there's a mock turtleneck, which I will not be doing because that sounds hot.
Yeah.
And then there's just it's ribbed, but you like fold the ribbing over, so it's like a double thick rib.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do.
It's super cute.
Just plain. Yeah.
You really have made progress. I saw like you post in your story like, oh, that you were knitting it, but it was like a little bit of it, so I couldn't see.
So there's that. But yeah, this again had to be put on hold for baby blanket, emergency baby blanket. And I finished. I can't remember if I talked about these or not, but I was making leg warmers the last time we were talking, but I wasn't going to show them because they weren't finished. Well, I finished them.
It's just inspection.
Did they smell like campfire? I wore them camping last weekend in Ohio Pile when it rained the whole freaking weekend. My tent flooded on Friday night, and I had to sleep in my Jeep, the back of my Jeep, which actually was fine because the seats were folded down, so I was just able to put my air mattress in there and.
She's like, I'm getting more comfortable.
It was actually very cozy, but I wore these, and these are. I think the pattern is just called Leg Warmers, and it's by Jane Richmond, and it's just a free, simple, you like cast on 50 stitches or whatever, and then just knit ribbing and a tube of ribbing.
Sorry, is it DK or worsted?
This is worsted. The yarn I used is Malabrigo worsted, which is not wash. It's hand wash only, which was dumb to make for leg warmers that we're going to go camping, but whatever. I had it in my stash and I wanted to use it. So I finished those. And do you have any other projects?
No,
before I keep going? Okay.
No.
I finished my, what is this called? The Fluid Slouchy Beanie by Karen McCall. And I knit it with yarn by my friend Jessie of Blackbird Fiber Studio, and the colorway is part of her Pride collection. Oh, you're so cute.
Friends forever.
The colorway is called I'm Coming Out. And Jessie's like yarn, this was the first time I bought yarn from her, and on all of her colorways are like based on songs. So she includes the Spotify code on the yarn label, so you can like scan it with your phone and then listen to the song as you're knitting with her colorway. I thought that was so cool. So go check her out. She's Blackbird Fiber Studio.
Ooh, I've got some yarn to show you.
Your colorways?
Yes,
Yay.
mine. Which first one is DK Merino Cashmere Nylon, and this is Blushing, which turned out so nice. Like while I was dyeing it, I'm like, I kind of had it in my head, and it turned out like kind of.
Yeah, cool.
But
that's
yeah,
pretty.
It's like rosy pink with like real light peach and almost like a beigey color.
It's like rose gold.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Really happy with this one. It's squishy. So yeah, those are in my shop. And then,
it must be so frustrating when you're like, okay, I'm going to make this colorway, and then it doesn't turn out the way it is in your head.
Yeah. And that happens all the time. Luckily with experience, like even if it doesn't come out the way in your head, like it comes out just like something that, you know, is still fine. It but yeah, it takes a lot of like trial and effort to be like, okay, this, and even like different dyes have different outcome. You know, you'll know this one, I need to add a lot to get the color I want to achieve. This one, like the tiniest little bit will make it just like super strong. So you just like learn the dyes like over time. So even like now I can be like, oh, I want like this, but not so much, you know, so you learn. And then my superwash worsted, Walton worsted. This one actually, this is Ravenwood. And I think I've still got 4 of these. Super nice, like teal, greeny, maybe a little light blue blend. Your yarn bases are all Cleveland inspired, right? Yeah. There's some, like 80-90%. Yeah, yeah.
Is Walton
this street?
I knew it was familiar. Yeah. Her studio is on Walton Avenue.
So yeah, there was a few where it didn't like quite work, but yeah, I tried to keep it. And then it's funny, people walk by like my booth and be like, Euclid, oh, you know, so those are my 2. You have any stuff?
I do not. I don't. I showed you guys the gauge rulers. I still have some in my shop. I've been working on stitch markers. I got glitter acrylic. So I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with that. I've I've been like experimenting with a couple of different shapes for the stitch markers, because like the glitter doesn't really work with engraving. You just can't see the engraving. So I've been trying to just do simple shapes, but like I keep seeing like I'm trying to figure out what shape I can do that's unique to me, because like everybody's got hearts, everybody's got stars, everybody's got little skulls. So I haven't seen I have a little chevron shape that I've been playing with. And I also was messing with I made like a little triangle. I don't know if you can see that. We'll put it in the show notes. So if there's a shape that you're like, hey, I would love a shape of a stitch marker in a shape of a beer mug. I don't know, whatever. Let me know and I can probably make it.
I've got some books.
Yeah, let's talk about books.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited to hear about yours, and I'm excited to tell you about mine.
I was peeking at yours and I'm like, stop, then I'll hear about it. So one I just finished, which was so much fun. And this was kind of a TikTok book, but it was as good as everyone said it was. And I'm a super Star Wars fan. And this started out as Reylo fan fiction, which is Rey and Kylo Ren. And they, not to give away spoiler for a movie that's old, they like, it's tragic and sad. So a lot of people wish it didn't happen that way. So this is something you can kind of tell by like the art on the cover that it's kind of like looks like them. So the cover, there we go. So The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And I pulled up a little quick interview with her this morning because I wanted to double check that it was originally fan fiction, which it was. And someone contacted her and said, oh, I read your fan fiction. She did some Star Trek fan fiction too. And they said, I think we could really make this into like a novel. So the cool thing about it besides that is that it's she's like a scientist in real life. And so she's really into like, you know, promoting like women in STEM, things like that. So it's set in like a lab. And he's gruff and, you know, a lot of people don't like him, but she kind of like catches a little glimpse into like, you know, that the exterior is just that. And it's darling. It's everything you want. And that's all I'm going to say. It's sweet.
Steamy or?
Yes. Okay. Which is when they started to get together, I'm like, oh, this is like what I would have liked to see because you didn't get any of that. So yes, definitely some steaminess.
Cool.
And just, yeah.
The cover's really cute. I really like the trend in romance now where like the covers are, I was going to say animated, but they're like that cartoony sort of animation style. So I want to tell you about Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. I think that's how it's pronounced. For hating me at the beginning, you're really invading my personal space.
Scooching.
So, Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. It's a novella, because you know I love my short books. It's a near future dystopian Western. It's got like an old West feel to it. The story is like the main character, Esther, she's like struggling with her queer identity, and it's like this book is like about her self-awakening. And she escapes an arranged marriage after her lover is executed. And she joins this band of outlaw librarians.
What?
Yeah. Who are they're like traveling through Arizona, distributing anti-fascist propaganda to like rural settlements. It is the funnest freaking novella. If you like Westerns, if you like badass female characters who are gun-toting, and non-binary. There's several non-binary characters. If you're into librarianism, I don't know, does that check any of your boxes?
Yeah, just a few, you know.
I really loved it. So on the cover, one of the tagline is, "Are you a coward or are you a librarian?"
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a really fun book. And then I just read, I loved that one so much. I just read some of Sarah Gailey's other fiction. They have a 2-book set called American Hippo, which is like 2 novellas smashed. It's like book 1 and book 2, and they just smashed them into one edition and put some short stories at the end. But that one is sort of like old Western also. But if there were like wild hippos living in the Everglades that then like became feral and started terrorizing and eating people. And so then like the author imagines like, okay, what if we had hippo wranglers, like cowboys, who like took care of this feral evil hippo problem, in like pre-Civil War America. So that one was also really fun. I recommend that as well. But yeah, Upright Women Wanted. I really love that one. Because librarians.
My next one I read a little while ago, and I was looking back through Goodreads. And I'm like, I know I missed a few. And I read this I read it like a whole bunch of YA at one time, and I forgot to talk about this one. And it was so good. Felix Ever After by Kacen Callender. And this cover, come on. Like, cover is so, we were just talking about like illustrated covers. Like makes you just want to pick it up. So this is about Felix, and he is in art school and has transitioned and is just like kind of grappling with everything, like falling in love, his identity, what he's going to do with his life, his relationship with his dad, which dad has been there for him, but still struggles. So they kind of go through that. He has a best friend, and they have some ups and downs. And their group at art school is really diverse, but he goes into school one day, and on the walls of the art school, there are blown up old Instagram photos of him before
transition. I see.
Which I didn't know this term, but his dead name, which is the name he used before he picked Felix.
Oh, interesting. I'd never heard of that term.
So I didn't. So I learned about this. So like he just like the description of him, like him walking in and being like just humiliated and embarrassed and not comfortable, and you just it's just really like heartbreaking. And then like kind of like coming out of that with his friends, and just even like he has a lot of ambiguous feelings about like Pride March, because he still doesn't feel like he's a part of everything, and he's like defined who he is. It's really, there's so much going on, and it's just tender and lovely, and you learn so much as well as just like being touched by this story. So just because of that, also I wanted to say on Netflix there's a really good documentary about being transgender, which I learned a lot from, called Disclosure. So I would really recommend that if, there was a lot of, they interview a lot of people, and I just learned a lot from this too. And you just don't think about and a lot about the portrayal of transgender people in media, and that for years, for up till very recently, if you were found out, like in a movie, if they found out you're a transgender, like people would be like physically sick. Yeah. There was a lot of that, and they would think like who you are as a person, that makes other people physically ill. Like how hard that is to either be growing up with those images, or like going through life and who you are makes other people physically ill. Like think about how that affects you. So it's really, I can't recommend it enough. And that really I feel like I learned a lot from it, and just having new respect for people and like what they go through. I had watched Pose, and so some of the Pose actors were on this. And so
I see Laverne Cox.
Yeah. So
some other famous faces.
Definitely. So yeah, it was good because they showed like that portrayals are becoming better, and there's people who are writing now, as they show examples of really terrible portrayals in the past, which you just can't believe.
Well, and not even, I mean, that's so important what you said about how, like, imagine seeing that portrayal of transgender characters, like other characters being horrified that the character is transgender or whatever, and being transgender yourself or queer identity or, whatever. And internalizing that. But also, like, media affects the way everyone thinks. So, like, those portrayals are damaging to people who aren't transgender also. So, yeah, that's really interesting. That sounds like a cool documentary.
It is. So I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
I feel like I think about it so much more than I did before. I knew the basics, but it makes it, both of them give it such an emotional turn that you put yourself in their position and you think, wow, like I understand more and can empathize more than I did before.
So for my Discord book club for October, we're like, let's read something spooky. So I picked, this was on my list for a long time, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix.
I've seen this book everywhere.
It's got the best cover with the peaches that are like oozing blood. We decided that in our book club discussion that this book, the cover and the title are a little bit misleading because no peaches appear anywhere in the book. It's not even set in Georgia. It's in the South, but not Georgia. And while I'm sure you can get peaches in other states besides Georgia, like peaches indicate Georgia to me. I mean, right? Like that's their thing. This book, it's labeled as horror. But it wasn't really like horror the way I think of horror. I don't read horror. That's not my genre. If you're like, hey, read this horror book, I'd be like, no, thank you. But I wanted to try something a little different. So we read this. And so it's labeled horror, but it's also like, it had some funny parts. My husband I was listening to the audiobook, and my husband would catch like pieces of it. And he's like, what are you listening to? Like, that's like, it was funny, but there were a lot of gross parts. So like I would call it like a gross thriller that had like a gross thriller with paranormal elements. And it's like, you don't really know if, and it's almost like a psychological thriller too. Like the scariest part to me was, sorry, I'm not laughing at you. You just, her little head was up in her belly. The scariest part to me was like the gaslighting. So like the premise is this character, Patricia, she's like in this book club, and then this guy moves in and he's really hot and he's real handsome, but nobody knows where he came from. He just shows up and he's got a backpack full of $85,000 in cash, and like no one seems to be questioning it. And she's like, hey, this is weird. And he like, I don't know, like all these things, weird things start happening. Like they find an old lady like eating out of the trash, and she's like, this is early in the book, so it's not super spoilers, but she's like eating a dead raccoon, and like I don't know, and come to find out that it's this dude's aunt, and like so like all this weird stuff starts happening, and Patricia, she's like getting really suspicious, and all her friends and like family are like, you're crazy, like that's not real, he's a great guy, like he's taking care of everybody in the neighborhood and blah blah blah. And so they just like gassed like the shit out of her. And so it's almost like you're not sure if there is a vampire or if it's all in Patricia's head. Like through the whole book, you're like, even to the end, I was like not really sure.
It's great.
Excellent book.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, it was so good. It was a 5-star read that I hated reading. Like, because there's like really icky, there's like this stuff like with the raccoon she's like eating the raccoon, and she's like, the narrator's talking about how she's pulling out the intestines with her teeth and like getting pieces of raccoon fur stuck in her teeth, and like it's just like gross, cringy stuff, but like really well done. I listened to the audio, most of it, on the way to and from my camping trip last weekend. And I had to make sure I was using cruise control because I would find myself like in the tense parts. I just go faster and faster. And I'd look down and my speedometer would be at like 90 miles an hour because I was so freaked out. Totally recommend. Absolutely read it. But also it was gross. There's gross stuff. And there's trigger warning too obviously murder. There's some sexual assault and stuff too that I was not expecting. And even like some pedophilia, which was, yeah. I don't know. I'm not used to reading books with that kind of stuff in it. So like when it's in a book, I'm like, oh, that's not supposed to be in here. Like it, like, because you read romance and like you don't, if anything like that happens in romance, it's off page, it's off screen, it's part of the backstory. So yeah, it was surprising to me, but yeah, really very good book. We had fun talking about it in our book club meeting. I love that book.
Oh my gosh. This, I was just and we're in guard dog mode.
There's an intruder.
I know. Other people work here too, Okay, Tessa Dare, When a Scot Ties the Knot. I'm so glad you read this because
so cute.
Scottish romance can be hit or miss. Like I know I tried an author. I thought, oh, these are going to be, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm not. And there's a lot of like, I'll throw you over my shoulder. And, this is kind of like, sometimes it's a little bit tired. And
yeah.
This is not that. Tessa Dare is just, come on.
She's one of my favorite authors ever.
Really is amazing. So the heroine is, you already know this, but for you, heroine is like an introvert. She's shy. She's getting like forced into society, forced to pick a husband. And to get out of that, she makes up a fictional fiance that she met. And he's like, I think like Mackenzie, Captain Mackenzie, he's away at war, but I'm so into him. There's nobody else, So she keeps this up forever. And like writing him, she would just write him notes and post them. And, after a while, the family kind of just backs off and she decides to kind of kill him off. And, he's dead. It kept her, like they kind of just accepted that she's just going to be, whatever. Kills him off. She inherits a castle in Scotland. Or the family is just like, you can go live there. She takes like an aunt with her. Has her own little life now. And who shows up at the door but Captain Mackenzie?
Yeah.
And says, I'm here, my love. I'm here. We're going to live happily ever after. And she cannot figure out what is going on. It's amazing. And of course, the little old aunt is like the best character. She's like, this is the best thing ever. He's here. And I just can't say enough about this book. So he had gotten the letters that she had sent, and like they kept him like going through war for years, and had a bunch of men who were injured and dependent on him, and their land had been taken away by the English, so they had nowhere to go. So his thing is, I'm going to show up here, I'm going to marry this lady, and all of like the land here his men can settle on.
Yeah.
So he has kind of, but the way he goes about it is just fantastic. I can't say enough.
Yeah, Tessa Dare's books are really
fun.
I feel like she writes a lot of, like, her plots are, you have to suspend disbelief. Like, obviously, there's no way that would ever happen in real life. Like, it's magic. But it's like, yeah, it's the magic of literature, the magic of romance. You're like, okay, I'm buying this. I love it. Because they're always very, like, they're very cute and they're funny. And, the characters are really interesting. And, yeah, I love Tessa Dare. She's also a lovely human. She tweeted at me one time.
Oh my God.
I don't remember why I started reading this. Oh, because I have been reading, I think in the last episode I was talking about Serial Reader, which is like the app that sends you classic books like a chapter at a time. So you can, read after 3 months, you've read War and Peace in 15-minute chunks. So I was like looking through books on Serial Reader, and my brain got reminded of one of my favorite old-timey books, which is The Importance of Being Earnest. Do you love it? Oh my God. The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. Specifically, the audio version done by LA Theater Works, which it's like because it's a play. So this performance by LA Theater Works, you can get it at the library, and it's performed by a full cast featuring James Marsters from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay, wait. So let me get you some pictures.
He played Spike.
Yes, Spike.
Oh.
I have a picture.
Okay.
So here's the cover of the LA Theater Works cover. This is, I believe, it's also on Audible. But it's at least our library, Cleveland Public Library has it. Cuyahoga County Library has it.
I'm getting this.
It's so good. It's 2 hours. It's hilarious. So let's talk about Spike. It's Spike. Here, I'll show you. I went down a Google rabbit hole.
Oh, let's see this. Yes, those cheekbones. Look at those cheekbones.
So
good. God.
Mm-hmm. We love Spike.
Just the best.
If you were team, what's his face? Angel. I don't know if this podcast, I feel like we wouldn't be as good friends. So it's like the importance of being earnest. It's like a play of Victorian manners or whatever. And so like, they're very polite and it's like all etiquette, and it's, but like really witty banter and like silly wacky double entendres and lots of wordplay and things like that. So it's really fun. This LA Theater Works version is 2 hours. I listened to it with Devin, who's not super into like Victorian manners or old timey literature, and he loved it.
Fantastic.
And then I watched the movie. There's a movie version done in, I believe it was 2005, featuring Colin Firth and Reese Witherspoon, and like it was fine, but it is not as good as the LA Theater Works audio version. So yeah, go check that out. It's excellent.
I saw a play of it, which was so well done in Stratford, Canada. When I went up, there's like a Shakespeare festival there, and then they'd have like extra things. So good. And then I went to a panel where he talked at Cleveland Comic-Con, the Wizard Con, like years ago, and I still like remember it.
I went to that Comic-Con. Oh. I was going to meet him, but the line was really long, and photos were $40. I was like, no.
Some of them are like $300, or like
get out of here. So we met, instead of meeting James Marsters, we went and met oh my God, who's the guy from Gilmore Girls? Like the real nerdy. I can't remember his name. But photos were expensive for him too. So when I got home, I just photoshopped myself into like one of his pictures.
I know. I just never know what I would say too. Like even people I really like, I don't know. Like I feel too weird. Like there's nothing you can say that's like they haven't heard a million times. Right. And
I mean, I think they're used to it, but they get it.
Actually, it's coming back. The Comic-Con got bought by like some other company, and it's coming back in the spring. And I'm going to try and get a booth. The booths aren't open yet. But I was going to try and get a booth and then do some like nerdy yarn colors and see how that goes.
That'd be
because sometimes I don't do very well at like things that aren't yarn based, but I figure for that might be like I would definitely be different
for sure. Yeah,
so I might try that. I have just a few more things. I have been like crazy podcast listener. I was doing Fated Mates by Sarah McLean. So much fun. I listened to a lot of those. I think I'm pretty much caught up. They had an ad for one called Bonkers Romance, and it's new, and I've listened to all of them now. And I posted the other day about one, which is they just do off the wall stuff.
Wowie.
So this is a spider monster romance. Ensnared by Tiffany Roberts. Nothing I would ever be like, this is for me. If you listen to this episode, you're like, and they recap like a ton. So that's pretty much spoilery, but they just like, it's so funny the way they go through and they like tell each other about it. I think normally one person hasn't read it and two people have. And I'm like, I went and I bought it. Of course, not available through the library.
Oh, of course.
So I haven't read it yet, but if you guys are interested, I'm going to be reading this. I just, there was an orc, like,
oh my God,
romance. There was like one that was just like a smoke monster, like a smoke demon.
What?
I mean, they're they really are bonkers. And I just, give it a try if that's you want to try some really off the wall things. And then I have to say my other obsession, which I'm saving for next time, which is Katee Robert, Katee with 2 E's, and we'll put her tag in the show notes. She is really hilarious. She's a guest on a lot of these. She's on TikTok a lot. She's on Instagram a lot. I've become obsessed. And if you want to join me, she has these mafia romances. It's called the O'Malleys. And it's a really huge family. It's Irish mobster family. Tons of kids. So I think it's like 7 or 8 kids. And there's one about each of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm on book 3. But if you would like to join me, I'm going to be talking about them coming up. This is book 1, The Marriage Contract. And I'll read the synopsis and I'll talk about it more later. It's great. And they're all great. And you can't wait to like get to the next one to help out like the next sibling, because they like, you know, of course they're like rich and whatever, but they have it like tough. They have a lot of like responsibility put on them to either, if they're women, to marry, to make your holdings like stronger, which is strange in this day and age. So that's tough. And then for the men, it depends like where you are in like the birth order as to how powerful you're going to be. So like, of course, the older ones are going to have to step up, whereas like the younger ones kind of have a little more freedom, and that like the older ones are going to take over. I could be something else if I wanted to be. So that dynamic's interesting too. I'm on the 3rd one, and he's like the accountant. So he does like creative accounting to keep the family afloat and stuff. So I'm just so happy with these. Yeah.
It sounds a lot like modern day aristocracy.
It is. It is. I think it's a way, and they're like, now that like these podcasts talk a lot about like the craft of romance, or it's talking about like it's a way to get like a lot of those things that are kind of like arranged marriage. Yeah. Which now there's no need for it, but this can bring up those like conflicts that aren't around anymore.
And they're the tropes that we know and love.
Oh, jeez. So just super, and the women are all super tough. Like so there's other warring families, and like the oldest daughter is going to take over. So like it is like there's interesting dynamics that way too. So, and then if the oldest daughter is taking over, what husband is going to be able to like handle that and be like number 2?
Yeah. Interesting.
So anyway, give it a try.
I will look forward to hearing about those. Are we done?
Yes.
I think we got it all.
Oh my gosh. So much, Ribley.
Are we done? Well, thanks for hanging out with us, you guys. We might be back in 2 weeks, depending on how my recovery goes. If not, we will see you at the beginning of December. We will see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.